Hi guys, and welcome to week 5 of the course. So first off, I do apologise. I'm a little bit nasally and congested this week, so this video might sound a little bit funny. I apologise in advance, and I'm sorry. Just have to bear with me. So week 5. So in week 5, we start looking at oral language, and so hence the name Understanding Oral Language. So we concentrate on oral language and we start looking at it in more detail, focusing on the functions of oral language and the properties and characteristics of oral language, and really looking at the differences between receptive and expressive oral language and how that can play out in our young children. So it's quite a big and important topic, particularly for early educators. So we really want you to think about not just oral language, but how oral language relates to our curriculum documentation in the Australian curriculum or in the early years learning framework, and how we as educators can effectively utilise those teaching tools and other learning experiences and combine those together to draw the best practice for teaching oral language and drawing out oral language in our young children. So there are two main activities associated with this week, and they all really stem from the reading. So I emphasize how important this week's reading is in terms of formulating your understandings of the concept of oral language, particularly expressive and receptive oral language, and applying that concept in the classroom. So the two activities from this week, the first one asks you to view 3 different videos of oral language in practice, and we want you to have a think about the different aspects of oral language that are identified in the list, and also have a think about how the educator in those videos drew out oral language, particularly for more reluctant sharers of oral language. So we want you to think about how should they use questioning and choice as strategies for developing that oral language with the students. The second part of the activity asks you to think about the video that you've watched or chosen and then explored and answered some of the questions for. So think about that video in some more detail and try and apply some of the things that you saw in the video to the Australian curriculum or the early years learning framework. So essentially there's 2 different levels here. So you're looking at the teaching strategies and you're also looking at the core documentation that supports those teaching strategies. So they're your activities for this week. I strongly encourage you to do the activities. As I've said before, the activities in the course overall are designed as scaffolds for your assessment. So assessment 2 is coming up, which is the oral presentation using SoundCloud, and the main focus of assessment 2 is all about oral language dimensions. So this is really the formative, functional part of developing your understanding and your response to that assessment. I also encourage you to have a quick look over SoundCloud, particularly if you're not familiar with SoundCloud, because you will be required to complete your assessment using SoundCloud. So just have maybe just a squiz over the website and a little bit of a play just to help you develop an understanding of that. There will be an upcoming Collaborate session for Assessment 2. The dates are yet to be determined, but once I do have those, I'll be posting those on the board. So keep an eye out for those. Okay, thanks. Any questions, just pop them into the Ask Helen thread in the forum. Thanks. Bye.